Live from Saturday night. No, wait. Live from my kitchen at Saturday night. There you go. I don't watch Saturday Night Live. I'm kind of familiar with that tagline they have, but I very rarely watch. Sometimes see the bits that people share on social media. But yes, I don't watch it, so that's why I screwed up the tagline. Hello, nobody. You're seeing who's waiting. It appears you are the most prompt this evening. Just topping up my drink with lemonade. We might be getting an AIDSy tonight. He messaged me earlier and was very excited at the prospect of joining. And then I emailed him the link, and I haven't heard back from him. He could appear at any moment. Might be half an hour, might be an hour, might not appear at all. Might appear any moment. Who knows? Yes, you saw the comment. I saw your reply. See, that's what YouTube's for, man. Having fun. That was just like I got a really good giggle out of it. I think you did really well with it. And I thank you for sharing it with me. Hey, Luke, how are you doing this evening? And Gecko, hello to you. All just grooving on a Saturday night. I've been a little bit tired today, probably because of all the decadence of last night. But I didn't even stay up that late, like midnight. That's not late. I know I'm an old man, and I normally do go to bed by about 10, but midnight's not late. And I had a few drinks. I wasn't shit-faced. I didn't feel sick today or anything like that. I didn't. Sometimes I will admit, sometimes don't get a hangover as such, but it's just like the body going, okay, you really sort of punished us a bit last night. The various internal organs ganging up on me and saying, hey, I'm trying to do something on my screen. It's like, is my screen fucked or is there something on my screen? That's weird. Maybe my screen's fucked. It's got some funny pixels on it. Or is it moving? Is it okay? It's driving me crazy, but that's okay. Well, thank you for sharing it with me, nobody. I really enjoyed it. Yes, Luke, maybe the stream will give me a burst of light, but you're not so good. Okay, well, I do hope the stream helps. We've got to be a bit up then, obviously. Nobody. Not alone in that feeling where your biggest enemy is your head, tells you things because it doesn't like you. Yes. Personally, in both my work and recreational life, I guess, I have a real problem with imposter syndrome in that, yes, feeling like I don't deserve my position. Someone's just going to suddenly say one day, hey, he's a big phony. And it can cause quite a bit of anxiety, not like in the to the degree that I'd call it an anxiety attack, but it can definitely make me anxious. So it's probably more accurate to say it makes me anxious rather than it gives me anxiety, because anxiety has come to become like a diagnostic term, and it's not that. Anish, hello. I'm going reasonably well. Oh yes. Geez, I will. Okay. This is a fun distraction. Sent that to my Yahoo mail, didn't you? And I don't think I'm logged into Yahoo on this laptop. Well, actually, maybe I am. Yes, no, that's right. Oh, God. Oh, this is not bad. Two-factor authentication. They want me to verify this code. Where are we? Verify. My voice is my passport. Verify me. Who gets that reference? That's a slightly obscured one. Okay. Oh, actually, I could share it on the stream. Okay, yes. Yes, I can. You've had 2 instances where people have been arrested by the police out of your car. Okay, that's pretty wild. Initiate a secret calling Annette. Yeah, it's internet. Jesus. Nobody often black out on how to spell. Don't be too uptight about spelling, man. Jesus. Alexander, the news about Tommy Robinson, was that the thing with him saying he was going to move and take his family to Spain because he didn't feel safe in the UK? Oh, iInet have a "my voice is my password" thing, do they? That's from the old movie Sneakers. But anyway, yes, people mocking Tommy Robinson because he's always hung shit on refugees, people who are actually fleeing from war and persecution, and he just shits on them. And now he's saying he's fleeing to another country with his family because he doesn't feel safe. It's just like, the lack of self-awareness. But Tommy Robinson, it's not even like, maybe he's a fascist. I don't know. What he definitely is a grifter. He has quite the criminal record, and he is very into exploiting people to get money. I don't even know how married he is to the whole white supremacist thing, or if it's a complete grift. Maybe he's a fascist and a grifter, but it's perfectly possible he's just a grifter and he has no allegiance to the white supremacist bullshit at all. He's just exploiting other gullible fuckwits. Initiated, well, Trump's doing a big song and dance saying he's going to do something about TikTok because of the Chinese government and whatnot. Blah-de, blah-de, blah. Zoomers will destroy him. If he limits their access to TikTok, the Zoomers will destroy him. God, I've got so into blood orange juice lately. I mean, this is blood orange juice and lemonade, but I fucking love it. It's refreshing. It's very refreshing. So I mean, and this big thing like oh, geez, I don't know how much of the boozy stuff I want to drink tonight that just send me to sleep, or should I have a wakey uppy drink? But then I want to go to sleep. It's all very confusing. Gecko, weren't grifters the kangaroo creatures from Tank Girl? I don't know. Grifter is just an old term for a con artist. Maybe they did call them grifters in Tank Girl. Oh yeah, no, nobody. There's actually no alcohol in this. This is blood orange juice, lemonade, and a bit of my homemade grenadine, which is pomegranate syrup. So it's just a very light and refreshing thing. I mean, you could whack. If I was, just trying to get drunk, you could easy whack vodka or gin or tequila or something in there. Hey, John, how are you? Luke, what about crazy Melbourne who drive Country Vic from McDonald's restaurant? Oh, they're just fuckwits. People are fuckwits, and they deserve to get fucked up by the cops. Honestly. I was going to look at. Okay, I'm going to just go Tank Girl. Hungry. I'll say kangaroos. Booger is a mutated kangaroo. Tank Girl the film. Ooh, Tank Girl the film is all over shit. Ooh, suggestions last year that Margot Robbie was going to do a new Tank Girl film. Rippers, okay. They're not grifters, but I can see how you could have made that mistake. Ooh, pot roast for John. That sounds good. I had chicken skewers today, like honey soy marinated chicken skewers. They're pretty good. Yes, nobody. That's a quote attributed to Einstein, though I'm not sure he really said it. Two things are infinite: human stupidity and the universe. But I'm not 100% sure about the universe. Yes, Werribee to Springvale for groceries, Melbourne to Wodonga for Ballarat, Melbourne to Wodonga for Big Mac, Melbourne to Ballarat for fresh air. People are just fuckwits and think rules don't apply to them, basically. Initiator, you know someone that went from Melbourne to Ballarat for a route? Dude, who wouldn't? Honestly. I can see how you'd mix that up, Gecko. Ripper sounds like grifter. Yeah. Yes, would be the end of your night. So it's morning for you, Gecko, I guess, that you finished your night shift. Yeah, you need to. Thanks for dropping in and saying hi, man. But yes, I understand you need to go to bed. John, it's funny. I don't know what. Oh, chicken yum yum. Because I said chicken, and that also made me think of one of the COVID things. Apparently, KFC in Melbourne is experiencing some chicken shortages, and some of their stores won't be opening because they don't have enough chicken to serve people. Bit of disruption to the supply chain. 5:12 a.m. Yep. Yeah, I completely understand the need to go to bed, Gecko. Definitely. Yeah, nobody. They're all doing that. I have my rights thing. God, there was another weird video of one of these mutants who is latched onto this, sovereign citizen idea and was just saying the dumbest shit. And it was their own video. Like this person's recording it while they're talking to the cops. And just at one point, the guy says something so stupid. You see the cop really struggling to keep a straight face because it's just like, you can just see the cop wants to go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because the guy actually says this line about because they said, I need to present identification, and he gives a driver's license, and they say, so is this you, John Smith? And he says, that's a dead entity. And I go, is this you or not? He goes, that's a dead entity. And he's going, what is it your dead brother? What are you saying? And then he goes on this thing about he doesn't recognize the validity of the name on his birth certificate because his mother gave him that name without his permission. And as far as he's concerned, that's a dead entity. And at this point, you can just see the cops smirking, and he's just going, oh God, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh. It was just like these people are, there is nothing as unintentionally funny and simultaneously pathetic as a stupid person who's trying to appear smart. Smart people regularly get out of their depth and make fools of themselves by pontificating on topics they're very poorly equipped to pontificate on. And a lot of uneducated people are smart enough to know to not spout off about things that they have no knowledge of. But you get some very stupid people who are thoroughly convinced they're smart and say the most embarrassingly stupid things, and you're just like, you're mortified on their behalf, but they have no shame. John, I think we're going to end up seeing a lot of fucking sovereign citizen videos in the coming weeks and months. Those fucking idiots. Kathy, biggest dickus. I'm not sure where biggest dickus fits in, but I always have time for the Monty Python biggest dickus routine. Nobody. Last time someone tried not to laugh at you was a funeral sales caller. You said you don't need insurance because you won't be dying. Excellent work. Absolutely excellent work. Oh, okay. I'm not sure of any links for the actual videos, but they'll be all over fucking social media soon. Oh, the guard. Thank you, Kathy. Oh my God. Now I feel so fucking thick. That was so obvious. And it was exactly like the Roman guards trying not to laugh about biggest dickus. This cop trying not to laugh at the sovereign citizen guy. And it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And yeah, a couple of things are these, because these people actually believe if they sit in their car with the windows up, the cops aren't allowed to do anything. Like if the cops pulled you over, they believe they have a legal right to just sit in the car with the window up and they don't have to do anything the cops say or answer the cops. And the cops gleefully smash their car window and drag them out of the car. There's been a couple of those this week. They just, it's like, I think there are actually some states in America where if the cops pull you over, you can refuse to, like you can have all your windows up, and there's a particular thing about the people in the states where this is actually the law. Some of them have this little printout that they put on the window about, under statute XYZ, I'm not winding down the window. Like they show them their license through the window, and and this is my lawyer's number and whatnot. And that's only in some states in the US, and some dickheads who've seen this on the internet try it in the wrong state, and the cops just smash the window of their car. And some dickheads try it in Australia, cops just smash the window of their car. Oh yeah, nobody show the cops some respect. Suck up to them. I got away with giving a cop the finger once. I didn't know he was a cop when I did that. But yeah, MB, talk of TikTok. Oh, Trump's been blathering that in his ongoing fight with China, he's looking at banning TikTok in America, which I just think is funny. And the Zoomers will destroy him if he tries that. Kathy, no, that's apparently a real thing that someone did. They were hundreds of kilometers from their home, and the cops said, "The fuck are you doing?" And they went, "We're going to get a Big Mac." And so they're going to get a $1,600 fine is what they're going to get. Yeah, there were a couple of different people booked who were hundreds of kilometers from their home and with really piss weak excuses. And they just got fucking slaughtered by the cops. So for India, going to ban TikTok. See, but there's a nationalistic thing going on between India and China, where if the Indian government said they were going to ban TikTok through technology, that would probably fail. But if the Indian government made this big call to China's infringing our territory and they're using TikTok to spy on us, nobody use it, that would probably be very successful because of the nationalism. Yeah, apparently, Kathy. Yeah, the Wodonga Big Macs are the Big Macs apparently, and yeah, butter chicken was another one. Someone said they went down to Warrnambool or something for butter chicken. It's just like, yeah. So I'm not surprised that people in country areas of Victoria don't want people from Melbourne doing. And B, you want the Americans off TikTok so you get more followers. Good strategy. I like your strategic thinking. You should India ban more than just TikTok. Well, you can say you're banning things, and it usually has varying degrees of success. The party in control in India now are very authoritarian. Have a direct link to the World War II Nazi Party, in fact. That's a fun bit of trivia. What is it? Is this my saline solution? Did I leave it out? Ew, what is that? Not sure this is safe. Maybe I will check this out. There was floaty stuff in my saline. I thought I filtered it. Bigger question. Do I trust that? How many mils is this? 250 mils. How many mils is this? 200 mils. Big question is, do I trust? No, I'm probably going to throw that out, actually. MB, Indian TikTok was so bad it was good. Yeah, there's a bit of that. I did see some very funny TikToks out of India, actually. I don't watch it a lot, just occasionally, when there's a really popular one and people share it on different social media, that's when I see it. Yeah, no, but you're right about the VPNs and whatnot, but just with India's population, if the population didn't want to go along with the ban, I think it would be very hard to enforce. Yeah, so that was a big move. Boris Johnson saying he's backing out of the Huawei 5G deal in the UK, because the US is very opposed to Huawei being allowed to do 5G infrastructure because they believe, with some merit, that Huawei would be giving China backdoors into the 5G infrastructure. And if everyone in the West comes to rely on the 5G infrastructure, the Chinese government could fuck it up at any moment. What the fuck is that? A bug? Die bug. That was a bug. That's fucking weird. I don't know where that came from. Oh yeah, initiated Russia tried to prohibit a lot of things. Russia's very totalitarian, definitely. Okay, MB, looking after the kids. Hopefully see you a bit later. Toodles. Yeah, look, I'm not sure what would happen if TikTok shut down. I think there was some talk of getting the Chinese company to sell TikTok to Microsoft and then have Microsoft run it, and then Trump would drop his objections. I don't know. Yes, Kathy, it wasn't a murder hornet. It was like a flying ant or something. Though my big wildlife excitement today was a possum. Mrs. Angry called me out because there was a little possum in the garden. She thought I'd want to take a picture of it. And when I saw it more closely, it had been attacked probably by a cat. It had huge amounts of its fur missing. And then there's little bits of pink skin. There were a lot of scratches, although they didn't look that bad. And I was having trouble understanding how it could have lost huge amounts of fur but only have what looked like fairly superficial scratches. And it was very kind of stunned and non-reactive. I think it was in shock from being attacked by the cat that attacked it. So caught it, put it in like a cat box and took it to a vet that does emergency care of wildlife. So hopefully the little beastie is okay. because it was looking pretty stunned. It was really weird. Like, it was just sitting there, and I thought I'm going to get some gloves in case it decides to bite me. And I went right up to it, and it was like not bothered at all until I actually touched it when I got a hold of it. And then it started wriggling and thrashing, like, oh, what are you doing? And was acting like it might try and bite me. And I put it in the cat box and sealed it up and took it to the vet, who are hopefully looking after it, and hopefully it'll be fine. I'll probably never find that out, but it's just a cute little ringtail possum. And the poor little bugger had been suffered a pretty full-on attack from a cat by the looks of it. Didn't seem to have really bad injuries, but was just really clearly out of sorts. Was not really reacting to people around it. Normally, they wouldn't come out in day. And normally, unless someone's been feeding them, they're normally a bit timid of humans. And this one was just, ooh. And so I think whatever had attacked it had left it quite dazed and in shock. And hopefully it's okay. Oh, yes, watch the claws. Good call, Kathy. I put some proper gardening gloves on before touching it. I wasn't going to do it barehanded. Yeah, I just picked it up, put it in a cat box, and off it went. A black bear crashed the PGA golf. See, that's the thing, man. All the jokes about everything in Australia trying to kill you. At least we don't have, well, okay, out of the water, we don't have big fucking apex predators. Fucking bears. Like, there was a video the other day of what looked like a grizzly just fucking smashed the front door in on a house and strolled into the house. It's like, Jesus, just the idea you can be in your house and a fucking bear will break in, something that can kill you with one swipe. Jesus. Frankie, how you going, buddy? Lucas, yeah, you don't have to get very far into rural areas to see a lot of foxes. I got a bit weirded out when I was in Los Angeles one time. I was getting out into the suburbs a bit, but was not right out on the perimeters of the sprawl. And it was in a shopping mall, and there's a fucking coyote in the car park. And that I was concerned about because, you know, they're fucking wild and they're predators. You know, foxes will never hurt a human, but coyotes I wasn't fucking sure of. And it was really disconcerting just seeing a coyote in the supermarket car park. John, has anyone seen the new Jay and Silent Bob? Is that Jay and Silent Bob rebooted? I haven't seen it. I don't know. Initiate it. If Dan writes, statistically, 1 in 4 Victorians meant to isolate it trying to kill you. It seems depends how you identify that, but it seems like a really significant number of people who get tested because they think they need to get tested, then do no isolating after the test. When you're meant to, if you're getting a test because you think it's possible you have the Rona, you're supposed to isolate at least until you get your test results. And apparently a significant majority of people weren't. But even worse, there's a big chunk of people who test positive who were then making no effort to isolate. So I go, the fucking stove's making its fucking noise. Don't know if you guys can even hear it, but it annoys the shiz out of me. Oh, there we go. Oh my God, yeah, Kathy. Those weren't actually no. Okay, I'm just going to double back. The biggest troublemakers who went into Queensland from Victoria weren't Victorians. They were Queenslanders who'd been in Victoria. But yes, there'd been people at the border lying to try and get into Queensland. Just people are so fucking self-interested. It does my head in. Yes, I saw that one too, Luke. A woman apparently hid in a truck to get to South Australia, and she was not caught hiding in the truck. She successfully got into South Australia, and then someone reported it. They said, hey, she was in Victoria and she suddenly just appeared. And the cops went around and they realized she's probably snuck in. And so they have actually booked her. And so just snitches, man. Snitches everywhere. That's the other thing. All these people doing shitty things, thinking they're going to get away with it. Man, fucking snitches everywhere. Someone is going to snitch. It always happens. All the thing about Australia's a larrikin culture. Oh, very anti-establishment. Well, stick it to the man. No, it's a nation of fucking cops. Everyone wants to be a cop and can't be a cop, so they'll snitch to the cops, basically, on a heartbeat. Kathy, you living in Queensland, I take it? Enjoying it there? Yeah? Yeah, initiated a fun question. Did the Queenslanders pop down to Melbourne for a Big Mac? Kathy read the thing. There is, so far, to the best of my knowledge, unconfirmed, that they were actually involved in this crime ring where they get flown city to city to steal high-end goods from shops. They don't do it in their own city. They do it, in a city where they don't live. So they're not recognized and they won't get caught. And so there's a rumor these two women who, took the Rona into Queensland, they were flown to Melbourne to steal a bunch of shit and then to Sydney to steal a bunch of shit and then back to Brisbane. And there's a rumor that they were given instructions on how to get around the rules to get back in, what lies to tell, to not have a phone, destroy their phone or whatever, because the authorities are allowed to look at your phone and see where you've been. So you don't want to be carrying a phone that would prove you'd been in Melbourne. Weirdly, they had apparently organised an illegal 50-person party in Melbourne and got fined for that. And now they're facing a whole bunch of charges in Queensland, all sorts of trouble. Well, heist, yeah, we do actually want people to snitch in this case, but Kathy, I'm actually really strongly opposed to identifying them and vilifying them and trying to destroy their lives. But I think the funny aside, because they're really over made up in those photos, must have been from their social media, I guess. And so, yes, now their lives are going to be made miserable, and people are going to want to hunt them down. All they have to do is stop wearing makeup. They would be absolutely unrecognizable if they didn't wear makeup. They would look nothing like those photos if they didn't wear makeup. Yeah, they were only supposed to be 19 and they looked like they'd had cosmetic surgery. I mean, they definitely had lip injections, but they looked like they had fillers in their fucking cheeks as well. It's like, I'm really disturbed at someone who feels compelled to start doing cosmetic surgery when they're 19. That's really troubling to me. John, the postcard bandit. We never really knew if that was actually true. The cops claimed he sent postcards from various places, including having his photo taken outside a police station to taunt the coppers. But yes, he has served the longest sentence for armed robbery in Australia's history, far longer than anyone else. Mainly, two main reasons he's been in jail for so long for armed robbery. One is because he humiliated the cops and they take that shit personally. Two is he was so successful as a bank robber, they think he's got literally millions of dollars in cash stashed somewhere and they're trying to pressure him into giving it up. And he appears to not crack that easily because I don't think he ever gave up, or he just keeps denying he's got any money. He says he spent it. There's a weird one. Initiated, did you hear the Boston bombers' death sentence overturned because jurors were biased? I didn't see that. No, actually, I saw something about the Boston bombers, but it's just like, I mean, I'm anti-death penalty because it doesn't achieve anything. If it makes you feel better to murder someone, okay. You're not stopping any crime. You're not discouraging anyone from committing a future crime. It's purely a retribution thing. And while you can argue, say in this specific case, these guys are absolute pieces of shit and who cares if they get put to death, what we have seen consistently throughout history and still occurring today, anywhere where the death penalty is in place, it's abused, innocent people are executed, and the death penalty is visited far more regularly on oppressed minorities. So the death penalty achieves nothing, is cruel, and is grossly unfair and immoral. Did I hear about Pence and the dump truck? I did not hear about Pence and the dump truck. Now I feel compelled to look that up. Mike Pence dump truck. It auto-completed. Mike Pence dump truck. His campaign bus hit a truck on his way to a Cops for Trump rally. Wowzers. So Mike Pence's motorcade had 2 crashes in one unfortunate day. First, Pence's campaign bus reversed into a dump truck that necessitated, that was a difficult word to say, necessitated Pence moving to his limo. Next involved a minor crash between 2 motorcycle escorts. Wow, bad day. So that's a bit of a metaphor. I'm about to sneeze, sorry. Oh my God. Sorry, it's just something tickled my nose. Yes, dump truck. Jesus. Hit his own escort as well. So bit of a metaphor though. Mike Pence's campaign bus hitting a dump truck. Oh my God. No, but as a Christian, you strongly oppose the death penalty, blown away by the fact conservative Christians actually support it. Evangelical Christians in America are very, very, very strange. Because when you see what they do, what they say, and what they support, and the fact they so ardently support Trump solely because they think he'll give them the power they want, you only need to do a cursory reading of the Bible to know that if any of it was true, American evangelical Christians would be going straight to hell. Yes, Annette, don't mess with the Zoomers. Annette lives with 2 Zoomers. I live with 2 Zoomers. 3 Zoomers in my house. Yes, Luke, AIDS's forgotten or fallen asleep. Actually, here's what I should do. I should shit talk AIDSy for 10 minutes, and that's like a magic spell that will make him appear. But I just go, typical AIDSy, had one job, going to join the live stream, messaged me, said he was going to do it. I messaged him and said I'll send him the link. I messaged him and told him I'd send him the link. Nothing, nada. It's just, he's sitting there playing with his own poo-poo. So I just thought, it's like my magic spell. If I shit talk AIDSy, he will appear. Frankie, that is actually a really good point. Money that was stolen in the 80s and 90s would not look like money from today. But again, when I say that it probably, get his crim mates to launder it. So it's maybe not, buried in physical form. But who knows? Yeah, if he literally just buried money he stole in the 80s and 90s, it would probably be worthless. So, yeah. Annette, are your Zoomers pissed off at the idea of TikTok being banned or restricted? All right, we in a stream joining mood. Yeah, I was holding out for AIDSy. Initiator, it's not about waterproofing. It's just that the money from the 80s and 90s looks nothing like the money now, and you couldn't spend it. People would just go, "What the fuck is this?" You couldn't deposit it in a bank without raising questions. So if what he did was literally like bury money somewhere, well, he's fucked because he'd never be able to recover it. What would be more likely is that, yeah, there was cash somewhere, but at some point he would have got his criminal mates to launder the money. And it's full of Calvados. All right, I'm going to share. I was holding out to see if AIDSy was going to show up, but I don't think he is. Annette's getting heavily into the Calvados. Right, okay, so that's the link. Let me see. Okay, there's supposedly a fix for me doing stuff to Facebook. Okay, it says, need to make streams public on Facebook. Follow these steps. I thought they were public. Just got to go to Facebook. Wait, what are we doing? Follow these steps. Wait, did I do that somewhere? Right, I'm just trying to see these steps. There we go. Okay. Go to apps and websites page on Facebook. Click view and edit for StreamYard. Maybe under business integration tab. I do not see it. Where is older versions? We removed apps others use. Games and apps notifications, older versions. Business. Oh, there you go. Business integrations. Oh, yeah. StreamYard. View and edit. Manage your business show listing pages. Read content posted on the page. Manage accounts. Read user content. Create and manage. Create and manage. Publish videos to your timeline. Who can see this business? It's public. Public. Save. That's ridiculous. Right. All right. Well, it's just not working. It's foolishness. I will leave that go for now. Leave it go and not worry about it anymore. Oh, sorry, Johnny. Sorry, there. How's it going, John?
Hello. Good. Can you hear me all right?
Yep. Coming through loud and clear.
Lovely.
Nice.
Yeah. I had a very nice day today.
Oh, what'd you get up to?
I stayed my mate's place last night.
Yep.
First time I've seen his new place. He's got a little joint on top of a shop.
Okay.
In the main drag.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we just stuffed around. Looked in some local shops. There's this brilliant place in Bendigo that's opened up last year called Trash Cult.
Oh, nice.
And it's just all your underground horror music. Oh, It's like polyester, I guess, in
Okay,
Melbourne. If you've
cool.
been there,
Yes,
but
yeah, I know the type of thing. Yeah.
yeah. But even more extreme. Like there's movies in there that I would never watch.
Oh, cool. Sounds good. So,
So
hi, Kathy and Fox of Fate too.
hello,
I made it early, yay.
Yay.
and
Well,
then we
kind
went
of
to
early.
the reservoir.
Yeah.
And my mate that I was with, he'd been there like 3 days ago, and we were driving out a different way. He's just like, that's a burnt out car. That wasn't there 3 days ago. So I found my first burnt out car, and I
There
picked
you
up
go.
a bit of molten metal, that
Yeah.
floating on the ground, and I'm going to stick that up on my wall. Looks all cool, all arty farty.
Nice. Bit of random melted metal. Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
melted metal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
Cool. Cool. What have you been up to, Kathy?
Oh, what haven't I been up to?
Ooh, hey.
Actually, I had I'm a live streamer myself,
Yep.
and this morning ended up being 3 hours.
Wow. Okay.
That's a
Yeah,
fair stint.
Well, I didn't expect to. I started with about an hour of sort of filler before I could Zoom my colleague in Newcastle, and
Okay.
I thought, he's probably a busy guy. He'll be in and out in half an hour. Hour and a half later, I was like, I think you better go, Andy. You've got stuff to do.
Busy giant. All right.
Sounds about right.
Sounds good.
No, it was good. I'm a musician, classical musician, and
Okay.
he's one of the best jazz clarinet players in the world.
Nice.
Also a mate of mine, and we got chatting about everything under the sun for an hour and a half. Right.
What do you play?
Well, I used to play clarinet. I trained up to master's level on clarinet, but decided to get into early music, meaning anything written before 1750.
Yeah, right.
And took up recorder. And also, I managed to find a version of the clarinet that existed in 1600.
Oh,
Called the Shalamo.
the Shalamo.
Shalamo.
That's a name.
I like
I like that.
It's basically well, it looks like a recorder, and it's got two keys. And a mouthpiece and reed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm totally into it.
Do you play on your live streams, or are you just talking on live streams?
Well, I do. Well, my first couple of live streams, yes, I did play live.
Mm-hmm.
But after 2 hours, that's pretty exhausting.
I imagine, yeah.
And I've got about 4,000 videos up on YouTube of clarinet and recorder. So basically, what I do is I take a few of those videos every week. I use OBS, so I play the videos. I play the videos through OBS on my Mac, and then interject after every piece to chat to the fans about it.
Oh, that sounds really good.
So yeah, well, you've got my name, Kathy Williams DeVries. That's my YouTube channel.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Cool.
But a lot of it's the stuff I do at the moment is pretty hardcore Baroque and Renaissance recorder stuff. That
my
niche audience.
Sorry, my friend would love to meet you. He loves all kinds of weird music. Well, not weird, but
different.
It's like history of music, and he's a massive like folk head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Careful how you say that, John. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
We are family show.
Folk.
Yeah.
Folk.
He's a folk head.
He's over in Brittany in France at the moment.
Yeah.
So he's loving all there's really great Celtic music over there in Brittany.
Cool. Luke in the chat just noticed there's a guitar behind me. No, I don't play. That's my girlfriend's guitar.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, it's her dad's guitar that he gave to her, so I don't
Yeah.
play. Well, I do, but not very well.
I attempted to play the clarinet when I was little because I was too
everybody
small
does.
for the saxophone.
Ah.
Yeah, saxophone's easier.
'Cause, yeah, I wanted to play saxophone, but I was too little for it. So they gave me a clarinet, and I was like, "Oh, this sucks! I want a saxophone."
Yeah, well, you don't have to fiddle with the holes. You've just got like keys you can press down. I mean, that's what sucks when you learn clarinet when you're little and you've got little fingers and you're trying to cover the holes.
Yeah.
Saxophone,
Come on.
just press down the key and that's it.
It's a family show here. We're talking about folk heads and getting your fingers over the holes now. Just clean.
And sax.
And sax and violin.
Started on double tonguing.
Oh, no. Oh, no. See, I knew this was going south. There you go. Bad as me.
Are you sure it wasn't already down there?
I know. Bad as me with 2 cocktails saying I'm double fisting when I'm a whole.
I have to tell you, in ISO, I started watching this geology professor from Washington State, and he was always coming out with stuff like that. He drinks beer and wine and that in his live stream, which get interesting. And he was drinking. People were sending him water through post as gifts. And he was drinking it during the live stream, but he was drinking it through like glass tumblers. And
right.
I'm a total wine snob.
A classical musician being a wine snob? No. Well, sorry.
You got to drink wine out of a proper glass. So I found this online store in America, and I got him a couple of engraved wine glasses.
Nice.
One for red wine, one for white wine, and because I got him engraved Nick from home because that's what he calls his live streams. His name's Nick, and he's at home, so I called it Nick from home. So he poured his red wine into both glasses, so that we could see the Nick from home engraving. And he just said at the beginning of the live stream, "Oh, I'm double fisted. How you doing?"
I'm just looking at the innuendo in chat as well. Nobody referring to the South Park episode with 4 million kids with recorders, and Mr. Garrison says,
and the brown nose.
I don't think children have been practicing your fingering. And Wolfer saying guitarists always talk about tightening G strings. So,
that's my favourite piece, Ear on a Thong by Bark.
Okay.
Air on a G string by Bark.
All right.
Air on a thong. Yeah.
I'm not that good on classical music. Sorry. Ooh, I'm just because Annette was getting mad into Calvados cocktails, so I'm looking up some recipes in here. I'm going to make that one a Newark. Okay, I don't have Calvados, but I have. Here's Nettie. Sorry. Nettie.
Hello.
Hello. I gave up on the Calvados. It was too complicated. I'm just opening a bottle of something.
Okay. What have I got to? I think I've got to get this.
I kept getting distracted.
I was at the bottle shop today, and she said, "Oh, we've got the hand sanitizer." And I'm saying, "Well, I'm hardly ever out anyway." And I was at the bottle shop the other day, and doesn't alcohol kill COVID? And she says, "Oh, the hand sanitizer is 80%." And I said, "Well, what are you doing? Put it on your hands."
Right. See, you got me inspired though, Annette. Now I'm looking up Calvados recipes in my book. So.
Well, I found one with triple sec and orange juice.
Yeah.
And this was acceptable. It was a little too tart for my liking, but I made a triple and I drank it all.
Okay.
And so here I am.
This one, I'm going to make one called a Newark. It's like 2 shots of Applejack or Calvados, 1 shot of sweet vermouth, quarter a shot of Fernet Branca, quarter a shot maraschino. All right. An excuse to use a little bit of Fernet Branca. I hardly ever use. I got this one because it shows up sometimes, and it's a very specific taste. It's halfway between a vermouth and a really bitter aperitif. Amaro. Italians friggin' love the really bitter stuff.
Is that like the Amaro?
So this is not as bitter as an Amaro, but it's kind of halfway between vermouth and Amaro. And this is one of those things, only one people are allowed to make this. You don't get different brands of Fernet Branca. It's a protected brand. And it's only made by one family distillery in Italy. But yeah, it's one of those ones that's so old and it's all herby. So it was sold as a medicinal tonic for a long time.
You ever tried Hungarian Palinka?
Oh, I've seen. I don't think I've had it though.
Nope.
Yeah.
Those Hungarians do not mess around when it comes to alcoholic content. Because my Hungarian mate, he had a choice with this liqueur of. He said, well, this particular liqueur comes in 30%, but that's for beginners. I'm going to 50%.
Yeah.
Can I just say hello to nobody and Frankie because they just went hello to me. So, hi guys.
Definitely.
And hi to Luke's dad because he apparently lives in Bendigo, where I live.
Oh, okay, cool. Luke's talking about the alcohol and stuff. I think for hand sanitizer to be rated to actually kill COVID, I think it has to be over 60% alcohol.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
No, you ingested it. But...
Yeah. But I mean, just washing your hands is good. Apparently, literally soap and water is good.
Yeah. Warm water if you can.
It's. I heard the explanation. It's got something to do with, the fatty surface on the actual COVID cells. Soap and water actually breaks it up, and
pretty much
that's remarkable that soap and water can be that effective. Honestly.
Yeah. Kathy, going back to your
it's giving me the
same was it Hungarians? You said had that lethal. Hungarians
50%?
had the lethal. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I know. Sorry.
They know how to drink.
I got my geography mixed up. I thought they were up north, bloody snowy, cold area, but they're not. I'm terrible with geography. I was going to use my
Hungary in Europe.
Yeah, the Eastern Bloc.
Yeah.
Like I have a theory that the colder it gets, the stronger and more ridiculous their spirits get.
Oh, look at the Russians.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And then the Polish with spiritus.
Yes.
Which I drank that on the rocks once in Japan and had the worst hangover of my life.
Yeah, that's oh look, Nettie's doing a live ISO haircut.
Live.
Is this guy straight? Is it
That
straight?
looks so.
Haha. I haven't
Natalie
lost
keeps like
it.
a friend of mine.
I used to do my own fringe all the time, and then I got out of practice. I go, hang
That
on,
looks alright.
oh, shit. Trying to do your hair with a webcam is so weird because it's like it's not a mirror.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, well.
are you all ready for a little bit of ASMR? Right?
Oh, I'm going to stir my drink.
Okay.
No, I just opened a can.
Oh, you opened a can. Nice. Oh, yeah, I heard the hiss. All right. Gotta double check is there.
Wait, hang on. Does that bit go on?
So I'm making a new one. No, that's everything. I just got to stir it. Okay. Where's my stirring stick? What some people call a spoon.
I wash myself with a rag on a stick.
I wash myself with a rag on a stick. Jingling eyes.
I can't drink. I've got a 3-hour recorder workshop tomorrow. I've got to conduct.
You probably better behave then. Yeah.
Oh, I can't. Well, also, I'm waiting up for a 2 a.m. live premiere of this geology guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you're that much of a fan, are you? That's dedication.
Oh,
It must be
yeah.
good.
You see this? Oh, what did you? No, well, you see this.
This is
Kitty.
a pounce.
This
He's
bloke is
beautiful.
so popular that
How's
he
Kitty?
would have 1,500 people tuning in to talk about
Really
Washington geology.
good.
Cool.
So yeah, he doesn't do live anymore, so he
I love you.
does live premieres.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I've got to say this very
The
carefully.
kitty does not want to be
Shit.
held.
No, he never
Right.
does. But he's so beautiful. And he's so soft and cuddly.
I got 2.
Oh,
Same
you do
here.
on this day.
I tried to. If I tried to hold one of them, though, she'd rip me to shreds. Can't
Oh,
pick her up.
one of mine was like that, but she's getting a bit better now.
Oh,
That is a
Only my
beautiful puss.
fatso. Only my fatso is. Oh. Hasn't
Look at those eyes.
revolutionised Zoom meetings?
Person asking about me not being on camera. I don't have a web camera at the moment.
Oh.
Webcam, so that's why
You
I'm
know-
not on.
You know
No.
that you can actually, I think through Epoch HD, it's an app on your iPhone. You can actually turn your iPhone.
No, I don't have an
into-
iPhone.
Okay.
And I don't want to show my face at the moment as well.
Yeah, that's okay.
Haven't
We all
shaved
feel
for
like
a few
that
days.
sometimes.
You're beautiful, Sir Pounds.
So I'm just
He
trying to
usually-
find a particular video. There he is.
Who are you looking up?
Me, actually, because
Of course you are.
yeah, of course. No, just because in the chat, Coffee and Chill asks, "Did I ever do my comparison of shaken versus stirred martinis?" And I did. I used the actual James Bond Vespa Martini recipe, and I did the mad version, which is 3 shots of gin, 1 shot of vodka, and half a shot of vermouth. And I did that shaken and stirred. And the reason most people say that James Bond thing about shaken, not stirred, is wrong. Well, there's 2 reasons. One is it dilutes the drink. A shaken cocktail dilutes the drink more. The second,
And if he's a spy, he doesn't want to be drunk.
yeah, it makes it cloudier, so it's less visually appealing. Like a clear gin and a clear vermouth in a martini, a perfectly clear martini looks a bit more elegant than a cloudy one. And I did the shaken and stirred and tasted them side by side, and you could definitely taste the shaken one had diluted a bit more than the stirred one. But when you make it with 3 shots of gin and 1 shot of vodka and half a shot of vermouth, a little bit diluted is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
I was a bit surprised. I said, honestly, yeah, it is clearly diluted, and I prefer it because this other one's a bit goddamn full on, quite honestly. So,
Maybe he was onto something.
yeah.
Well,
But I've
actually, I'm
done-
notorious for my cat paws. It's like, like normally when you pour like a bourbon and Coke, it's like, sort of finger of bourbon and the rest Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
You
kind of.
measure your bourbon?
Yeah, let's
Wow.
pour in the bourbon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a little bit of Coke.
Yeah.
So a bottle usually gets finished in about I don't know 4 or 5 pours.
Yeah, that's a
Sounds
decent
about right.
Husband on the floor.
Yeah.
It's not me drinking it. I'm
There's
on the gin. So my gins start off like that. So that's the first gin
Yeah.
with the tonic. Second gin. Oh, let's
Oh,
just
man.
keep pouring for the third one. Oh, gee, the bottle's gone.
Have you
Yeah,
ever tried? There's a gin. I think they make it up in Northern Territory, and they use these ants that are bush tucker, that are like citrus, have a citrus flavor. They use that to flavour the gin.
Sounds
Well,
good.
we got
If
We had a
Kirsten
gin
was
bar
here,
down the road.
yeah,
Okay. They might have it there. I don't know.
125 different gins.
Oh, I need to go there.
yeah.
Blind Tiger.
Yeah.
Rightio.
Yeah, Darren Lockyer owns it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Kirsten was in the chat, she'd probably know who that maker was who uses the bush ants to flavour the gin. I think she knows all the stories.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how relaxed is the kitty? Just like,
Oh.
yeah.
That's a good puss.
Like initially, when I saw there was a little possum in our backyard today, I was thinking, I'll get a video of this. It'd be cute. Then I get up to it and like all its fur's missing and it's scratched up. And I went, oh no, that's disturbing. Jesus, what happened to this poor little bugger? So I didn't put that video on the socials in there because I got up close and went, oh no, this looks terrible. This will just upset people if I put this online. So I just caught the little fella and took him to a vet who's hopefully looking after them. But yeah.
One great thing about our possums, they're actually cute.
Yes.
The North American ones, oh, yeah,
Those-
give them a wide
Scary
berth.
looking. So many teeth.
Yeah,
Yep.
scary rat things. The American opossum is this scary, toothy rat thing.
They usually have like a
There's
white
little
head, and the rest of them
ratings
are grey or
Mm.
something.
Yeah, that's just because they live in garbage. Ugh. So
we had a 3-meter python in the garage a few weeks ago.
Beautiful boy.
you're in Queensland. Once you start getting up there, you get all manner of wildlife. All my Queensland
I
friends.
didn't mind. It was just a carpet snake, just a
Yeah, if it's just
carpet-
sitting.
they're 3 meters long, but they keep the rats down, and
Yeah.
Oh,
he
my
was just
cousin
having a
lost one of her
snooze up.
dogs to a.
He was just
to the
having a
carpet
snooze
snake.
up by the roof. It was nice and warm.
Living his best life.
Husband was like, "Get it out of there! Get it out of there!" Snooze.
It'll go in its own good time.
Yeah.
If there's a funny sort of dog shaped sort of
Wow.
tummy, well, I'll start counting the dogs.
Yeah. If you have small pets, it can be a worry. Yeah.
Yeah. My cousin, one of her dogs got taken when she was on a walk by a python of some kind. She was whacking it with a stick. Everything just too late.
No,
It's
when
gone.
it's done, it's done. Yeah.
Oh, so magpies you got to watch out for this time of year.
I've never been swooped by a magpie.
You're lucky.
Yep.
I have been swooped so much. I used to take a shortcut through a monastery, and the aggressive magpies in that place are amazing. I used to run through
They know
with
that
my
you've
hat
sinned.
jammed on my head and my bag swinging around my head.
They're all friendly in my neighborhood because I think I've seen people feed them.
Yeah,
There are
they're fine.
a lot of magpies in my neighborhood, and I think people feed them. What's happened to our man? He's texting me.
Did the magpies know that you'd sinned or something? Is that why?
It could have been. I just think I must have made a pretty good diversion for the guys inside the monastery.
Yeah.
It's this schoolgirl running around with their bags swinging around their head.
Cyclists with the helmet.
We must cast the devil out of her.
Apparently, magpies remember people too. Like you'll see things when they've decided they don't like someone. 6 people will walk past and the magpie won't do anything. Then a particular person goes past and the magpie goes, "That motherfucker!"
So, I guess I've just always been nice to magpies or something.
You must have been, right? Yeah.
Or maybe they just in Brisbane.
There was a crow that lived in pretty much around where I used to live, and it only swooped males. Male humans, male dogs, male cats.
Okay.
Wow.
It only swooped males of any
Maybe like a-
kind. Like,
Noisy miners
Pheromone?
go for black dogs and black cats.
mm,
I've noticed that.
In the Indian miners around here, the last thing I was swooped by was an Indian miner in the park. And I actually got it on video. It's on my channel. Unfortunately, I don't have a particularly high-speed camera, but I'm going around. I'm doing my monopod walking and talking, saying, I think one of them is going to attack me if I come through here. And then I was wearing a hat, and there was literally just this thunk off the top of my hat. And I went, oh, there was one. And it's funny, you do freeze frame because I don't see it coming. So it comes right down and just sort of its wings hit my hat and it goes back. And I don't even react till it's out of shot again because it was so fast. I'm just going, and it goes, and they go, ooh, 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 ooh. But it's a bird. It's not scaring me. Magpies are a bit more of an issue if they decide they're after you.
Sorry, it's just gonna say Safa. No, the dog unfortunately did not survive.
Oh, the dogs. I think did the dog survive? No. Coffee and Chill, you have aggressive seagulls.
Yeah, they
can
steal your
get pretty
chips.
aggressive for food. You
The
give me a
bastards.
chip. It's one of my favorite stories
kitty.
that I've seen circulated on social media. Possibly not true, but I love the sound of it. And one of the Bayside suburbs, Frankston, in fact, people saying they're waiting for a train. Frankston's right out on one train line. And when you get an express from Frankston, it goes a long way. And there's this story: someone's sitting on the platform. They got their fish and chips, and seagulls start to appear, and they throw a chip, and the seagulls go rah, 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 rah. And as everyone's waiting for the train, this guy's gradually got a really large number of seagulls around him, and he's just occasionally chucking them a chip, so they're hanging around. It's like dozens of seagulls hanging around, and they're getting really insistent at him, like throw us more food. And he's not, but he's just keeping them there with the occasional bit of food. And anyway, the train comes, everyone gets on it. This guy's still just sitting on the bench, and then go like train going, goes beep beep beep. The doors and just as the beep 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 for the doors closing happened, this guy threw his whole bag of chips through the door of the train. And all the mad seagulls went in there. And then the doors closed and the train left, and it was an express that wasn't going to be stopping for 15 minutes.
oh.
That is evil genius level.
Yeah. It's maybe not true, but it's such a good story. I don't need evidence. That just is such a good story.
That'd be even more awesome on the Gold Coast line because I think it goes express from Bean Leader south to South Bank. So that's a good hour or so.
There'd be some chaos in a carriage with a dozen deranged seagulls in it. Yes, I think that's what we all hear now since Finding Nemo. If you see seagulls, you just hear them going in your head. You hear them going, mine, mine, mine. Oh yeah, Frankie the Skins thinks Aussie Magpies have read Hitchcock. I think that's probably their favorite film. The birds. They're just like, yeah, let's hang around and taunt people. I think if Alfred Hitchcock, after making The Birds, had come to Australia and seen what magpies do, it would just would have been, oh my God, I thought I was making it up. Jesus, what the fuck is wrong with these birds?
Or
But
maybe
I
he
think,
didn't make it.
that was the name.
Because Trooper, I was that guy on the beach with the chips.
Did you say something to me?
It's a beautiful story.
Oh, my cat just meowed then.
Yeah, one of my cats in here. Mimsy comes in sometimes. Shadow never does. She's, I don't know what she does. She sleeps most of the day. Oh my God, that is like such a spoiled cat. Like, yes, love me, worship me, praise me. Such a satisfied look on that cat's face. Fantastic.
Ah, he's biting me.
That's the old cat thing. Yes, you may do 6 cats and no more. Then I'll bite the shit out of you.
It's because I dropped my hand down to the murder button.
Yeah, that's
Come on,
it.
you little bugger. Oh, he's just too happy. Doesn't know what to do. Has to bite.
Yeah, cats do that. It's just a thing they do.
He's still here.
Sorry, I just realized I'd left that martini video on another window. I was just checking what's in these other windows, and it's like freeze frame of me. It's like, oh no, I've got a totally different haircut in that photo. Well, it's not totally different. It's just a different length, and that's what making videos is weird. The day you make them, you know what you look like. And see, Kathy's nodding. Yes,
I used to be a blonde.
Yeah. You see one from whether it's 6 months or 6 years ago, and you look and you go, oh, I looked really different. And it's just like,
the other cat's here.
oh, God.
Sorry.
Cat fight live on the stream. There you go.
It's turning into a cat video.
I like nobody's phrasing with the cats. If the cat lies on the cat exposing his belly, he calls that the bear trap. Because if you put your hand there, the cat will snap shut on your hand.
You just have to touch the magnificent fluffy belly.
Yes. I was about to say, what are we going to? Because I actually replaced my overproof rum today because I used the last of it the other day, and I thought I could make a cocktail with that. I've actually got a pre-made one in the kitchen.
No, it's a kitty.
I love black cats.
In my tasteful skull decanter. I'm still. So I just got to get an appropriate glass and some ice. That's interesting. Where's my tiki mug?
Have you seen the wine bottles you can get on Amazon that are like a wine bottle with a glass on top of the wine bottle? So you can only say you've had the one glass of wine?
I've seen that one. I love it. That's a classic.
Well, I don't reckon it's a proper red wine glass unless it takes half a bottle of wine anyway.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, I've only had 2 glasses of wine.
All right. Just sorting out my freezer. Get a big old block of ice from my big old ice cube tray. All right. Put that back. All right. All right. I might finish off my rum punch. Ooh, it's so nice. Again, I wish I could share the actual visual of pouring this, because for those who don't know these weird things, this is like a milk clarified drink. I actually made the drink. It's 3 sorts of rum and some other things and some fruit juices. And then you add it to milk, and the acid because it had pineapple and lime juice in it, and the acid in the pineapple and lime juice curdles the milk, and you just mix it, leave it sit for a bit so it starts to separate, and then you pour it through a filter, and the curds settle and they become a really effective filter. It's called clarifying. So when I started, it was like a very dirty brown because of the very dark rums that were in it. And after I filtered it a couple times through the curds, it comes out this really brilliant clear color. But it's also got the curds stay behind in the filter, but the whey from the milk gets added to the drink. And so it changes the consistency of it. So it's this slightly, it's a bit more viscous. Calling it oily sounds kind of gross, but it has a slightly viscous, oily consistency compared to before. And pouring it over a large cube of ice like I've got in here, it just looks so cool because it's not just running off. It's this slow sort of spread and run off. And my webcam's not sort of good enough to actually show you, because I just think it looks really cool when the slightly more viscous drink goes on, and you can see it's a different consistency. I'm really obsessed with these milk punches. Oh my God.
How many weeks have you been doing milk punches?
A while, actually.
Yeah, it's been
At
a
least
while.
2.
There's a bunch of them on my cocktail channel on YouTube. in terms of videos, the oldest one on my channel is like 2 months old from the start of May. So that's actually more than 2 months old. That's like,
I think I remember you talking about this process years ago. I'm not sure if you're actually doing it.
I might have mentioned it, but I only started doing it in the last, I don't know, certainly the last 6 months. I mean, I think I only started doing it after bloody lockdown, actually.
Right.
The oldest video on my channel is 3 months old, but I'd been doing it for a little while before that. So I think I've been doing it for about 4 months. And I usually make a couple of them a week because I'm friggin' obsessed. It just tastes so good. It takes all the sharp edges off the drink. Like this one's got so much rum in it. It still really tastes like rum. But it's got, you can taste the fruit juices as well. And it's just,
I think you've convinced me to give it a go, I think, because I'm not much of a cocktail person. But yeah, the way you describe it and all that, I think I might have to try it.
And I find the process fun as well, just experimenting with the process. And it's funny because like the curds get left behind. Like I just use coffee filter to do it, and the curds get left behind. And Mrs. Angry's been using them for desserts. Like she likes making like a bread and butter pudding or a rice pudding or something. And so I keep all the curds from the drinks I make, and she adds that to the dessert. So you're getting these. The desserts don't really taste like booze, but they've got a really distinctive flavor from the curds when that's in it. So it's, reuse, and hi Stella, by the way, who came into the chat. Hello. Yeah, it's a fun thing to do. The thing I've got to get into that I still haven't tried is called fat washing. You get anything that's
you're gonna wash me, are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's just me on a Saturday night. Have a wash whether I need it or not.
Wash me, I'm the fat one too.
Yeah. So apparently it's like anything that's got oil or fat in it. So bacon's popular, but you can use like avocado oil, coconut oil, nut oil, like peanut oil, anything like that. You mix the fat or the oil, and chocolate. You can do it with chocolate. Like ever since I saw people did like white chocolate fat wash gin, I'm like, what? You can do it with chocolate? Oh my god! So you melt whatever it is so it's liquid, which is easy if you're using, say, avocado oil. But like if it's coconut oil, that usually solidifies at room temperature. You have to warm it up so it liquefies. If it's bacon, you cook bacon and drain off the fat, that type of thing. So it's got to be liquid. You mix it with the booze, whatever it happens to be that you're mixing it with, and while it's liquid and warm, mixy, and you put it in a jar, and then you put it in the freezer, and the oil or fat will sort of collect and go to the top and solidify, and then you can just take that off, and the booze won't freeze, so it'll still be liquid. You take the fat off the top. You still filter it because most of the oil or fat will be on the top, and you can just take it off. And hey, you can reuse that. Then you've got flavored fat or oil you can use in cooking or making a cake or something. Or a dessert for that matter. And then you filter the booze to get any little particles out. But then the booze has taken on the flavor of the fat or the oil. And apparently it's fucking great. Like people love bacon fat washing whiskeys, getting a bacon taste into whiskeys. Coconut fat washing gin, rums, that type of thing. But yeah, when I heard someone saying, I used white chocolate to fat wash this gin, I'm like, oh my god, it's like white chocolate is super my weakness. I have to try that. So although if you're a millennial with your avocados, you could do it with avocado oil. So live up to the stereotype. Kirsten's done whiskey butter. Nice. Noise. Oh, Kirsten's in the chat. So, okay, Kirsten, there was a discussion earlier about a distiller, probably from the Northern Territory, who uses some sort of like the ants that sugar ants or
citrus. They produce a citrus acid as a defense, and it tastes like citrus. So
yeah. So I was betting you might actually know what distillery that is, Kirsten. A distillery that infuses bush ants into their gin to get a unique flavor.
And they have a few of the ants floating around in the bottle as well.
Oh, they keep the ants in the bottle. Okay. Just for that real authentic look.
I wonder if they sell it at my gin bar.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let's check it out.
Well, I mean,
Kirsten, why aren't you in the Angry Bunch?
Nosferatu?
I'm going to show you.
Oh, I did miss something. Stella's pissed off at neighbours decided to smoke tyres on motorbikes while her washing's out. Now the washing all stinks of rubber. I'd be pissed. I would be super pissed off.
What are you doing having a party? Are you allowed to have a party at your place?
Western Australia. Stella's in Western Australia. They've cut themselves off from the rest of this diseased country. And classic.
Football. I'm assuming that's Aussie rules in Western Australia.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, if Kirsten's husband's watching the sports, she lets him do it and doesn't get in the chat. So that's the thing. Okay. Kirsten does know it. There's a couple of distilleries that do green ant gin. There you go. A lot of the Australian
green ant, it hurts. Sorry,
yes,
that was loud.
No. I have been bitten by a green ant as well. Nasty stuff.
That stings.
Yeah. Although there was a fun thing we used to do in kids. There were, I don't even know what they were, but we called them bull ants. Like big
we had bull ants.
Yeah.
This big, right? Yeah. And they form these huge colonies with lots of holes. We would get endlessly amused by kids when we found a bull ant colony. You see all the holes. You run across it and drag your feet across it.
Yeah.
And it agitates all the ants and they come swarming out to deal with the attacker. And of course, you run off it straight away because you do not want these bastards. But we used to find it endlessly amusing to make hundreds of these ants come swarming out.
I did it once where I just kept jumping up and down on the same spot.
Mm.
By the end of it, my plan was to do it for 10 minutes. I think I got about 2 minutes in. I'm like, oh, I'm stuffed. I'm stopping. And it's just, hundreds of dead ants piled up.
Oh, you were game to keep jumping. Jesus,
yeah, I was just jumping up and down.
No.
That's what you do when you're bored in Bendigo and you're a kid.
You're sitting on a bull ant nest. Oh, man.
Oh.
Thanks for the info about the gin kiss, Kristen.
Yeah. Also, Bass and Flinders have a gin called Angry Ant. Same deal. So there are actually a few.
I only knew about one because I saw it on Landline.
Oh, cool. Cool. Okay, and there's one in South Australia called Southern Wild. So there you go. It's a real thing. You didn't imagine it, John. And
I'm not crazy. Yay!
Yeah, yay! John's not crazy.
Not in this case.
Not on this topic anyway. So, Stella, how about the jumping jacks in Tasmania? They have a stinger on the belly, and they can jump, and it hurts. Okay, I'm not very familiar with them, but they sound.
I've annoyed you, haven't I?
Tasmania, they have a lot of bumblebees, and I'm not used to them. I think over a 1 year period, I had one holiday in New Zealand with Mrs. Angry and one in Tasmania, and both have a lot of bumblebees, like huge, fat bees.
Huge.
That sound like B-52s as they come, and they don't sting, but I'm not coping with a really large, fat, noisy thing coming up. place. So I was running around the campsite going, "Oh fuck, get away from me!" And Mrs. Angry was just laughing at me the whole time. She's going, "They won't hurt you," and I go, "Oh my god, they're big and they sound like a chainsaw. How could they not hurt me?" You know?
Yeah. At least we don't have those murder hornets that
Murder
have
hornets.
reached the US now.
But we have
there's-
we have a couple of wasps that are not good.
The thing with the
True.
murder hornets is there was only one nest and it was quickly dealt with.
Yeah,
they found-
it was
what's the-
high.
I heard there was quite a few popped up.
But they are invasive and they spread like all invasive species. And apparently it's not okay. Because apparently they do really fucking hurt if they sting you. But the
People
biggest
die.
danger is they're very predatory and they destroy beehives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
Because the way that the because they're from Asia, the way
Yeah.
that the Asian bees have adapted to deal with them, because they just come into a nest and just kill the whole nest of bees, right? So the way the bees in Asia learned to deal with it was they just basically pile on it like a rugby scrum, and
I've
they
seen
start
that.
vibrating,
Yes.
and it's enough heat to kill the wasp and not kill the bees. I mean, you lose a few still, but the hive's still going. And of course, the North American bees can't do that. They don't know how to do it.
Yes. I've seen a video of that. It's wild. They literally just swarm the wasp and vibrate. And it's like, wow.
And the footage I saw, it had thermal vision as well.
Yeah.
Even better. I don't know if you saw that one.
Wild. Kirsten saying, did I hear someone mention Nosferatu gin? Kathy is in the Nosferatu gin.
What's that?
Vampire gin.
It's gin for vampires, obviously.
Yeah.
With a bit of blood.
Oh, my husband loves it.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
We even have, well, actually, my gin bar does really nice cocktails, and they have a Nosferatu martini. Although I wasn't. No, my favourite cocktail is the Wibble.
Or what's in a Webble?
Enough to make you wobble.
Sounds about right.
Nice.
I know
Nice.
when the blind tiger opened back up again. You know, we were one of the first people in there, of course. And it's like, what do they want? And it's like, Webble.
Webble.
Webble. They do an elderflower Collins, which is lovely. Elderflower gin.
Oof. That sounds good. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I have to admit, I'm not that social, so I haven't been too devastated by not being able to go out for 4 months or whatever the hell it's been. But I have to admit, all this talk. Well, I love making cocktails at home, and there's a couple places that I did really like going out to, and the talks we've been having and going on these live streams, and people have been talking about how good it is in this bar and how good it is in that bar, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to go out and have someone else make me really cool drinks and that I don't know what's in them, or the basic ingredients, but it's just like, being looked after by someone else sounds good, actually. Yeah.
Mr. Angry, did you ever go to a cocktail bar called Polly? I think it was.
Polly!
Yeah.
Nettie went to Polly. There you go.
I've been there once. Is it still going? Because that place was awesome.
I don't know.
Nowhere.
It was a real goth hangout, wasn't it? I mean, all the
It was
goths I knew
filled.
down here went
It was
there.
filled with all these fancy old chairs that, you would expect a vampire to sit on, or a very well-to-do goth, Marilyn
Sounds like
Manson or something.
Yeah.
Just like, and it, it was quite expensive, but you could tell the cocktail makers, like the barman, they were professional. They took pride in their work,
Yeah. I thought I knew about, and I did. I knew about half a dozen good places in the city. But talking to Kirsten and other people on the Spirit Animals Facebook streams, and they're just going, and they, this is the nature of the Melbourne bar scene. People will rave about a place, saying it's the best thing, and you've not only not been there, you've not heard of it. And you hear all these people go, "This is the best. It's the most amazing night out experience." With this, and again, I've never even heard of that place. And you see all these people jumping in, going, "Yeah, it's the best." It's going, how? I mean, I could get with not having gone somewhere, but to not even have heard, because there's like 100 bars in the Melbourne CBD. And you go out to the suburbs immediately around the city, and there's hundreds more. And and they've all got their fans, and it's just like you can't keep up with it. But it's just it's a weird experience to have people say, "Oh, no, it's the best," and you go, "I've never heard of it." And look it up, and you realize, wait, it is. It's right there in the city. I must have walked past it at some point.
Hole in the wall bars.
Because in the Brisbane, sort of the northwest inner suburbs, and until Blind Tiger opened up, all we had was the Gap Tavern and Finnegan's Chin at Capera, and they were the only bars within 10 minutes of us.
Yeah,
I tell you, it's great when Blind Tiger opens up, because I wouldn't go to the Gap Tavern. And Finnegan's Chin's all right for an Irish pub, but 125 types of gin, and the fact that you eat Darren Lockyer while you're there.
Yeah, now, I saw something advertised, and it was a Brisbane cocktail bar, and they specialised. But the word they used, it wasn't scientific, but they really explored the physical characteristics of the contents of the cocktails. So the cocktails were as much a visual thing as a taste thing, and they did all these weird things that looked very exotic and alien, where the stuff didn't quite mixed together, so a lot of their drinks look like lava lamps, basically. I can't remember what it was, but I remember seeing like Facebook ads for it at some point, and I was like, okay, those cocktails look really expensive because they look really difficult to make.
Cocktails are an expensive night out.
Yeah. But I don't know, like date nights with Mrs. Angry, we could go. An ideal one is like dinner, cocktails, and movie type thing. And you spend a bit of money on the dinner. You have 2 or 3 cocktails each, and you're treating yourself. You do spend a little bit on. Was Kirsten one's desperate to go back to Bar Clara, which I don't think I've been to. Eau de Vie, yes, I've been to Eau de Vie. It's very good. And New Gold Mountain. See, I don't know New Gold Mountain either. That's the thing. There's like 100 friggin' bars just in the Melbourne CBD. You can't keep up with them. I had about 3 or 4 that I like to go to, and now everyone's told me about all these other ones, and I want to go to them. But we can't. We can't in Melbourne. We're not allowed to go out.
In Melbourne, is there a dedicated kind of absinthe bar? Because I know there is one in one capital city, but I can't remember which one.
There's probably a couple. There's one that prides itself on being an absinthe bar. They also do pretty good food. Okay, I'm just going to go to Google because it always shows up if I put it. Absinthe bar Melbourne.
Because I've always wanted to try.
Okay.
Sorry?
So when I searched on Absinthe Bar Melbourne, it was the first one that came up. I remembered it's called Bar Ampere, and I do like them. I like their food and drinks. That's it. Storyville is one I go to, Kirsten. They do really exotic ones. And Kirsten also wants me to go to Whiskey and Ailment. Okay, I'm up for that. Also, one Gin Palace is really good. You like your gins, Kathy. If you ever get to Melbourne and shit's open, Gin Palace. It's a really big venue, and they, besides having lots of gins to live up that name, they make really good cocktails too. Gin Palace.
I've always wanted to try the traditional proper absinthe, because I've only tried that weird fake stuff that they used to put the sticker over it to make it legal to sell in Australia because it was very high alcohol. You know,
Yeah.
70%.
It's supposed to make you blind or go mad or something. Isn't that what?
Yeah,
all
that was
all
that
the
was all the
Wormwood.
hype. That was all the
Wormwood.
hype. None of it was true. But for most of the 20th century, absinthe was illegal in a lot of the world, particularly outside of Europe, the US and Australia. It was illegal until like the 90s or early 2000s. My absinthe is 80% alcohol. But the whole hype about it, you know, being hallucinogenic and making you go crazy, it was absolute bullshit and hype. And there was a moral panic about it in the early 20th century.
I thought that it could, but you just had to drink a lot of it.
It's fucking like 80% alcohol, man. They could put heroin in it and the alcohol would still be the thing that was fucking you up. It's just,
But like, you know, when the traditional way you're supposed to do it is you dissolve the ice cube over the top of it with water.
You get the special
that's
spoon.
that's what I want to do. Well, that's what I want to try.
There are places that do that in Melbourne. You get the special spoon, you put a sugar cube on it, you have a chilled water thing that drips water onto the sugar cube, slowly the sugar cube, and the water drips into the absinthe. And the idea is you make it about 2 parts water to 1 part absinthe, and the melted sugar in there as well. And then you drink that. That's like the super traditional way to drink absinthe. But there's a fuck ton of drinks that have absinthe in them that are really good. But yeah, Bar Ampere is an absinthe specialist. They have a bunch of different absinthes you can order. Plus they do good food till 3 a.m., which is a huge fucking bonus if you're really having a big night, to know that there's a place you can go and get some really good food up until 3 a.m.
I think when all the lockdown happens, I think I might have to make that my first visit. Well, when the lockdown finishes and all that.
Yeah, no, Bar Ampere, they do nice burgers and nice drinks, and they're pretty cool people. There's another one called Arlecchino, which is bar and food place. Their toasted sandwiches, I swear to God, they do this toasted sandwich that has 24-hour slow cooked brisket in it, and it's just like, oh my fucking God.
Oh wow.
It might have been just that I'd been out with friends for a really long time and it was 1 or 2 in the morning. But when I had this toasted sandwich, I'm like, this is the best toasted sandwich I have had in my life. And it's just, but yeah.
Yeah, we've got sorry.
Safa's asking about the 3 a.m. places. Well, none of them are operating now, my good friend. But there's a few in the Melbourne CBD that serve to 3 a.m. Bar Ampere serves food till 3 a.m. Arlecchino serves food to 3 a.m. There's a couple of others as well. It's one of the few good things Jeff Kennett did in the 90s when he was busy sort of fucking up a whole bunch of the public service. But he
erecting his giant stiffy.
Yeah, he did completely change the licensing laws, because seriously, up until the mid 90s in Melbourne, when people left work, the city was dead. Like by 6 p.m. there was no one in the Melbourne CBD and nothing happened there. But he changed the licensing laws so it was financially viable to open a place that could only fit about a dozen people in it. And so there are all these tiny places in the Melbourne CBD that can only fit a dozen people in them. But also, yeah, they can do food and stuff. But yeah, there's a couple places that do food to 3 a.m., which is honest. And there's actually a couple places that do food 24 hours. Not bars, but there are a couple places that will do food 24 hours in the CBD.
There's a Japanese joint. Something or other connection.
Yeah.
They're open 24/7.
Yeah.
And they have great like ramen and stuff. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. You can really have a pretty fucking big night. One of the places Kirsten mentioned, Storyville, stays open till at least 6 a.m. I did a night. There's a thing called the Melbourne Web Fest. It's a festival of web videos. And the last one of that I went to was about 2 years ago. And on the final night, when all the prizes were given out, they had a sort of, it was like a bar hopping party. Like, okay, for 1 hour, we're going to be at the Gin Palace. And then for 1 hour, we're going to be at this place. And then we're going to Storyville because Storyville stays open till 6 a.m. And we can keep ordering drinks and stuff till 6 a.m. And I think I lasted till 5 a.m. And it was the middle of summer, so the sun was up when I went outside. And I sort of stumbled outside and I thought, I am so wrecked. And I went out and there was a taxi just sitting in the street. And I was like, that's a sign from God. Because I went out because I thought public transport might have started again now. And I was going to look for a tram or train, and I just went out the door, and there was a taxi sitting there. And I went, sign for God, get in the taxi. And I got a taxi home. And the guy seemed to find it quite amusing that I was so happy that he was there.
When you're in Japan, and if you get stuck, like what happened to me a couple of times, don't go to capsule hotel.
Yeah.
Well, some of them actually, it's only for men anyway. They won't let women in. Probably because they'll end up getting sexually harassed, probably. Anyway, another story. But yeah, so you go to these internet cafes and you hire out a little booth that is just big enough for you to lay down, and the whole floor is a mattress, and you have a computer. Yeah. And there's like a library. They'll all have some like manga that you can read. The big ones do have a small English section. They have some of them have showers. And if I ended up staying 2 nights in one of those when I got stuck. And it's the cheapest form of accommodation in Japan. Wow. And one guy actually lived in one. I thought that they were using it for storage because I could see like some paper rolls stacked up and all this stuff. And then in the morning, the guy walked out of it. It's like, oh, that guy's living in it. Like, I mean, I knew that the Japanese could live in a small space, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the walls don't even go up to the ceiling as well, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. They do sort of cater to the salary men that will work ridiculous hours, and
that's more the capsule hotel.
Yeah. If you want some funny images, I just search drunks. The Japanese call, the guys who just are obsessively working for their company a salary man. Look up drunk salary man and you get absolutely. These guys they've worked 12 hours in their office and then they've gone to a bar for 3 or 4 hours and got shit-faced drunk, and they're immaculately dressed but utterly so they're just so fucking drunk.
Yeah, it's a sight to see. But the thing is, a lot of them, they have to go out drinking with the boss, boss man.
They have to,
and they're not allowed to stop drinking until he does.
Yeah,
and I think that is just, it's horrible. You should be allowed to stop drinking when you do. If I ever was in that situation, I'll be drinking very slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the whole salaryman thing in Japan is a bit messed up. But yes, drunk salaryman photos are pretty goddamn funny.
And if you want another good, sorry,
I was just saying they're immaculately dressed, but they pass out in public places.
Yeah, if you want a great video about how strange the corporate stuff is on in Japan, there's a great channel that I watch. I need to watch some more because I haven't looked at it in a while. Called Rare Earth, and it's actually the guy that the guy that got famous for singing Bowie up on the space station.
Oh yeah, the Canadian.
It's his son.
Oh, cool.
And he goes around the world and does these great little docos on history of all these countries he goes to. And he went to Japan, and there's one about this graveyard that. It's like the graveyard that everyone wants to get into in Japan. Like if you got enough money, and basically like now it's so expensive to get a plot there now that companies buy plots and give them to their lifelong employees.
Yeah.
And I won't say any more because it is it's turned into the most ridiculous thing, corporate thing I've ever seen. It is fascinating. So yeah, I think rare earth, and then it's amongst his Japanese section that he did. Something about the world's most expensive graveyard or something along that lines.
Oh, wild. Oh, yeah. Heist knows who we're talking about. Chris Hadfield, the Canadian astronaut. Yes.
Yeah.
Does anyone follow
he's,
on Facebook has Dan Andrews said we can get on the beers yet?
we were this close. We were this close.
I know.
We were this close. But yes.
Fuck his page on Facebook.
Yeah. We are. It's not going to be this year. We are like, we're this 6-week lockdown and the numbers just aren't going down. I reckon. Look, I'm for all the jokes I make about being I'm actually quite an optimistic person.
Well, in reality, as long as but as long as these systems of power continue, there can be no such thing as freedom.
What the hell was that?
I have no idea.
Oh.
It might have been Ali.
Right. That was a ghost philosophy.
Systems of power.
Yeah.
Sorry?
That was like ghost philosophy. Someone was just saying a political philosophy and none of our lips were moving. It was very weird.
Welcome to my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, she follows me around talking about whatever new philosophical perspective she's found today.
Good. That's excellent stuff.
I mean, I couldn't quite hear what she was saying, but it sounded agreeable.
Yeah. It was good. But yeah, we're not getting on the beers anytime soon. I'm really reasonably optimistic, but if we aren't getting much lower numbers by the end of next week, that is really fucking bad. Like if we aren't down to 100 new cases at the end of next week, that is a very bad outcome.
Well, apparently you were allowed 20 people in the bar, but the guy on the Facebook page said, only 20 people in the bar. That's 30 people short of a proper set.
Yes. Yeah. No. We there was a brief period where some places were open and a small number of people could go. That was not quite get on the beers, but it was almost there. And then we had this friend outbreak, and it's like, no.
I know, because I'm following the page, and they're going, who's getting on the beers with me? Let's do a pub crawl and that, and then it happened, and it's like so close, almost on the beers. And then they were saying that anyone that these guys that with the Rona that aren't home when the coppers come knocking, they're saying they should be forced to drink 4X Light.
War crimes are illegal, right?
Yeah.
I don't live far from the
I have heard though through the sort of academic grapevine that we should be expecting to have Christmas via Zoom this year.
Yeah.
Joy.
We would need everything to go right to have any sort of serious socialization this year. And at the moment, shit is not going right.
What? No Boxing Day test match?
Boxing Day test.
Yeah.
But with no one in the stands. Yeah. And it's just like...
couldn't bring the teams over either.
Exactly. Yes. There'd be all sorts of restrictions about touring teams.
The Poms have had a series with the Windies.
Yeah, but the Poms also have the worst death rate in the world from COVID. So, I wouldn't be looking to them for decisions. But
well, I mean, up here in Queensland, we have people in the stands watching the Broncos. Not that you want to be watching the Broncos, but... No. It's really hopeful because,
the number of people who've been knocked around by all these lockdowns, the number of businesses, the number of just people who've lost their jobs. It is really fucked. But it's like this ridiculous thing. You get some people saying like, "Oh, but you've got to open the economy," and it's going, no. If you open, if you just say let's not have any restrictions because the economy, we've seen what happens. This virus is A, incredibly contagious. B, it hospitalizes, particularly if it's unchecked, it hospitalizes 20 to 30% of the people who get it. They get complications and they need to be under care in a hospital, and 10% end up in intensive care. And if it's spreading through the whole population, it takes a really short time for that to get completely out of control and overwhelm the hospitals. It's what happened in Italy. And then the death rate starts to climb to 10% and higher. And then the economy can't handle that. The economy can't handle 25 to 30% of the population being too sick to function. And so the economy crashes anyway. So you've got a choice of the economy takes a hit and not as many people die, or you pretend it's not a problem and a fuck ton of people die and the economy crashes anyway.
Yeah. And then you get the argument of only 1% of people will die from it. It's like, 1% of 1 million is 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Yep.
But also, apparently, even if you get it and recover, the antibodies only last for about 3 months and then you can catch it again.
Yeah,
So,
that's
and the permanent damage.
That's a big unknown. Yeah, the fact that there's a lot of evidence that you can get reinfected, which is real bad news. But yeah, there's so much we don't know. So you get those clowns who go, only 1% of people die. And I particularly get weirded out by Americans saying that. Go, you realize 1% of your population is over 3 million people. Do you realize 3 million people suddenly dying who weren't going to die otherwise is going to have a really big impact?
Or they're going to die slowly over X amount of whatever.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys heard of the absolute clown that is Jacob Wohl?
Yes.
Oh, yes, that guy
Yeah.
is a clown.
Have you heard his latest shenanigans?
Oh God, please tell me, because he's a fucking idiot and I love to hear what he's
The latest great one that I heard of, he and he was talking to this woman where he was trying to convinced her to be one of the actors in one of his hit pieces against some politician, the sex scandal bullshit he's doing.
Yeah.
And she recorded the phone call that she had with Jacob and his other dude who's just as bad, but he's his partner in crime. Can't remember his name. But anyway, so she recorded the phone call, and in it he's basically saying, it doesn't matter about these 400,000 people that have already died. It's like a cleansing of the riffraff, basically.
Yeah.
And it's just
the doctors that are dying too.
Yes. Yeah. Medical staff, because they get a massive dose of the virus, and apparently that makes a difference. They call it the viral dose. Like if you or I come into contact with someone and contract the virus, we've got a relatively small dose of the virus, but medical staff who are surrounded by sick people get what they call an increased viral load, and they're much more likely to have complications. I forget, but a noticeable number of nurses and medical staff died in the UK, as not good. It's not good when the healthcare people are the ones who are dying.
And
no, not at all.
You know that Herman Cain died.
Oh,
remember
my God.
Remember Becky Stan guy?
Yep.
He was at Trump's rally and photographed himself, no mask, no social distancing. He's dead now. But family can't sue because they had to sign that waiver, didn't they?
Yep. Try not to laugh. But yeah, he
literally signed waivers.
Yep. He literally was one of the deniers, was proudly saying this Trump rally masks aren't mandatory. You know,
He's
COVID's
like,
a hoax.
hey, I'm here.
And then 2 weeks after the rally, he was hospitalized. And yeah, he just died this week. And like, seriously, when I saw people sharing it on Facebook, I went, nah, this is bullshit. And I had to go and look. And I went, oh my God, no. He literally had a rally where he proudly said people wouldn't be distancing or wearing masks. And he fucking died. And I was like, oh my God, Jesus. That was,
Is that a Darwin Award?
Oh, very much so.
No, he's reproduced, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But he can't produce more.
Brain surgeon or something.
Yeah, but all that
Really?
requires is precision. He also didn't believe in evolution. So doctors generally are people who are good at taking tests and they can pass uni courses, and they tend to be hyper-focused. And Herman Cain apparently was one of the best brain surgeons around. But that's just about being really precise. And because I work in IT as well, it's a common problem with engineers and IT people. They're very, very super knowledgeable and skilled in an incredibly narrow thing. And they think that means they know everything, but they're really fucking stupid outside of their tiny specialization. Like I said, Herman didn't believe in evolution. And I was just like,
that's a bit like my mum's best friend's husband. Who me and her wife, his wife, think he's probably has a bit of the old autism, but he's never been diagnosed.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like gets super focused on stuff, and you try and you try and debate with him, and you can't. He just talks at you, you know.
Yeah.
One of those types. But yeah, as long as you don't try and debate with him, it's all right.
Well, there is the devil sperm woman.
Sorry?
Yep.
You've heard about the devil sperm woman, right?
Yeah, Safa was
Dr. Woman.
Trump's crazy chlorapalose phone doctor, who also then talked about demon sperm infecting people and alien DNA. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, there was a lot of my American friends had a lot of memes about that, and I was going, oh, where is this astral demon sex going on? I want some of that.
Yeah, it actually sounds pretty good, really, when it comes down to it.
You can't get pregnant from it, right? It's demon sperm.
It didn't
succubus and
incubus. Trying to think now. I've forgotten the name.
The incubus is the male ghost that has sex with females. And the succubus is the one that has sex with the males.
Yes.
That's the one.
The incubus implants the demon seed, and the succubus sucks the life force out of people. Yeah.
Because apparently, like a succubus can have her way with a bloke. And, he checks the sheet to see, if there's any leavings, and the ghost, the succubus takes it with her.
Yes, for demonic purposes. Yes. But there are people who believe that shit. So there you go. Hey.
There was this. Wasn't there this woman that married a 300-year-old pirate ghost? Did you hear about that one?
I did see articles about her
later because he didn't communicate with her or something.
Yeah, I think she just really wanted attention. She's to actually go to the media and say that stuff. It's like, I just want people to pay attention to me. It's like, oh yeah, okay, cool.
I just love that she
aiming for exorcisms.
Yeah.
I did see Safa posted something about 100 kilograms of cocaine being seized in PNG.
Yeah,
500 kilograms.
Yeah, someone crashed a light plane in PNG, and it was apparently smuggling cocaine, and they were low to stay off radar, and they hit one of the mountains in PNG. No.
Oh no! Whoops!
And the police went up there, and the wreckage was apparently just full of cocaine.
I don't know why, but I feel like I have a lot of energy now.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a thing. Hey, I tell you what, gang, it's 10 o'clock, and I'm going to be super responsible and go to bed.
Midnight tonight.
I know. I got to do stuff.
School night.
Last Sunday, I was just a bloody after. I'm not going to name names, but all of you led me astray on Friday and Saturday night. Last night, keeping me up drinking past midnight. That I was somewhat less than functional on Sunday, and so I have to do some things tomorrow. So I've been a little bit tired today, but I've been fine. But I think I'm going to go to bed so I can actually function tomorrow, because I have questions about my ability to continue to function if I stay up past midnight again. So
Okay.
so I'm being a little and I'm going to go out. So thanks everyone came on in the chat.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
I'll have a fun time. See you all later. Probably will be on tomorrow night. Maybe Aidsy will be feeling better and he might come in, but we'll see.